So today we will be taking a look at the VCT Pacific League, and what we will be doing is going through each of the teams, talking about one thing that they did well, one thing that they can improve on, and then at the very end of the video I am going to rank where I think that these teams will finish in this league. And let's start with our first team, Detonation Gaming, and I'm going to start off with the negative part for them first, and we'll take a look at round 3 here against Giants in their game. And really, for me, one of the main problems that Detonation had sometimes is that they just lack the horses sometimes. They just lack the firepower. Here we are in a 5v5 retake, right? It's actually the bonus round for Giants as well. I think they started playing a little scared, a little passive, which I think a couple teams kind of did here early on. But, you know, it goes great, right? They get the first kill. You think at this point, bonus round, 5v4 retake, we're gonna be good, right? But you're gonna see here, they actually flash around there with the KO. Okay, the dart reveals them, but how do they not kill Hoodie here, right? How is he allowed to get 2 kills there? That just shouldn't really be possible, to be honest. And then Nookie actually comes on a flank as well from mid, so Nookie comes around here. He then manages to get 2 kills as well, and just like that, they lose the bonus. And yeah, stuff like that just really shouldn't be happening. For a positive round for Detonation, let's come to round number 5 of this Icebox map, where things had kind of changed a bit by this point. They did actually start off, you know, being a bit more aggressive, getting up in the faces of Giants a bit before getting pushed back as they are now. But you're going to see in this round, they kind of play off each other better. There are still some mistakes, like for instance, a dart is about to land just up here. No one actually destroys this dart for Zenfree, so he actually gets revealed, as you'll see just here, and he's actually in quite a bit of trouble because no one is destroying this dart, right? So there are still small things that they could improve on there, but they are going to fight as a team, right? So Jest is going to get that kill just there. Zenfree is still alive over here, just being revealed the whole time, but, you know, Takajay is now also swinging past this wall, coming to fight with his team, right? So we did have some examples of this from Detonation where, you know, we're going together, we're fighting as a team, we're getting these kills, and Hoodie's left with no time left. And so this is, you know, at least something for Detonation to build upon. Next up is DRX, and let's start with the positive. And actually in this round, you can see they don't really have that much. They have 1 rifle, 1 Spectre, and the rest have pistols, but they still manage to win this round because they're DRX, and they just do stuff that is better, right? Their util usage is just pretty much better than everyone else. In they come, right? They send up the Neon Wall, they send in a stun down here, send in a Fade Haunt here, in they come very, very fast, and you're going to see, even with just the pistols that they have, they cause enough chaos, and RB with his movement, jumping around, doing all of that stuff, manages to find a kill there. They go 1 for 1 in A main, and Counting actually goes kind of huge, right? He manages to beat RB just there, but what's happening is Buzz he's the one with the rifle. He's going deep into spawn, and they'll manage to get it into a 2v1, and eventually they would win this round as well. And it's DRX, and even though they came into this with 3 pistols and only 1 rifle, their, you know, just attack sides and their util usage is good enough to where they're still able to win these rounds. The negative for me for DRX is that sometimes they are a little passive, and we'll see this, even though this is a round that they win. You'll see what I think this is a good example here in round number 1 of Ascent against Loud. So this is the final map, right? And I kind of joked that, you know, DRX in this game went 2-0 down, and then they started to play well, and then all of a sudden it was 2-2, and then they got a bit scared again. And you'll see what I mean, just how deep everyone is here, right? We are, what, 10 seconds, 12 seconds into a round, and we're very deep, 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 right? Are they in A main? Don't know. Are they mid? Don't know. Are they in B main? Don't know. Right? And this is something that can happen to them. And DRX, it makes me laugh every time. Pretty much every time they take a timeout on defensive side, they always do something aggressive in the next round. Because look, Loud are able to walk all the way onto B. Right? Like, look at this. How often do you see this in a game? I know they got this Viper wall and it's a bit weird, and maybe you're not used to it and don't know how to play around it yet. But, you know, this doesn't happen often. Right, where 4 people are just on the site. And as I said, DRX actually managed to win this round, but I think it's just a good example of sometimes I think they can just get a little scared, right? And, I mean, they shouldn't win this round, right? I mean, Buzz, I mean, they're in a 5v2, but, you know, these guys managed to survive long enough, essentially, and just make it work long enough to where they do actually win the round. But sometimes they get punished for this, and they did get punished for this in the rest of the game, where sometimes they were just playing a little passive. This time they got away with it, but in other rounds they would not. Okay, next up is Gen.G, and Gen.G only played 1 game and actually lost 2-0, but I think a lot of people were pretty high on Gen.G, and it was for things like this, right? Some of their trading and some of their, you know, just play in general was pretty good, right? You get a good example of it here where we're going to get a nice little trade. We're going to swing around this corner, get one, get traded, trade it back, right? So we end up in a 4v3. And now, you know, some of these other teams in these 4v3s, and we'll get to some of them, you know, did panic in these situations sometimes, I thought, and got a little lost in the sauce. But Gen.G, you know, they were calm in this situation. They seemed to, you know, be on the same page, understand, you know, we're in a 4v3, group up together. Let's just hit a site, right? Like, why not, right? We're in a good situation right now. There's going to be gaps on the map, and so you see we're coming as a team here. You know, we're taking it slow. We're understanding what we need to do, and they did a lot of this, right? And then they pushed Loud, to be honest. You know, they pushed Loud harder than a lot of other teams did. This was probably one of the harder games Loud had to face until Fnatic. Okay, they do miss that knife just there, but you see they start to come in, they swing together. You know, the utils there as well. It's just good stuff, right? It's just good stuff. We end up in a 4v2, and they would end up winning this round. As you see, even here, right, we see Sadak, you know, we're coming to fight as a team. Like, literally 3 people are coming sprinting together. We trade that. I mean, look, this is just good stuff, and Aspas ends up saving here with just the op. So, yeah, there was a lot of rounds like this for Gen.G where it was just good stuff. In terms of the bad for Gen.G, there was a couple of rounds like this, particularly on Fracture, I thought, where, if you take a look at Gen.G's comp, they are playing a Sentinel-less, very aggressive double duelist, breach KO, right? Super aggro comp, right? This is probably about as aggressive as a comp you could actually build that, you know, is playable. And, you know, you would think they would be very aggressive with that comp, but sometimes in these rounds they were quite passive here on Fracture, to be honest. And you take a look here at, for instance, Loud's round here, you know, they've got both a breach and a Killjoy ult, right? So this is a crazy, crazy round for them. It's a full buy for both teams. You know, how you going to deal with it? Well, they just kind of, you know, just kind of wilt away here a bit. We got a bit of pressure here towards B main there, and these guys get pushed back straight away, and they just actually retreat to spawn. And so, like, straight away, again, if we pause, you know, we're 13 seconds into the round, right? What control have we got? Don't know what's going on here. Don't know what's going on here. Don't know what's going on here, right? We've got control of 1, right? We're 1 out of 4 for control, as you know, how Fracture works pretty much. And so, you know, Loud basically take advantage of that, and they just walk onto the B site, and now they've got a breach and a Killjoy lockdown. And this is, you know, when we're playing against these top teams, you know, they're going to figure stuff out like this, right? They aren't going to use the breach ult to take the site. They're going to realize, wait a minute, you know, you see Les here just walking up. He's got the confidence to do this, right? And he's going to realize, yep, there isn't much here, right? There's not much here. We're walking in onto site. And you see they do get onto site, and that means that for this post plant, now there's a breach and Killjoy ult for a post plant. That's not a good place to be in, right? As the spike goes down, you know, against these better teams, they will realize stuff like this, right? They will just walk onto site on you. They will test you with stuff like this, and we end up in a 5v5 retake, and yeah, they're not going to win it. I mean, they give it a decent go, to be fair, but you know, they aren't going to win it. So sometimes I just think that maybe round planning, some of their defensive sides were maybe just a little bit too passive at times, particularly if we're playing a comp like this, right? Fair enough if we're playing, you know, a super, you know, double Sentinel comp, something like that, right? Like, fair enough, maybe that can work. But, you know, something like this where our comp is like this, right? You see that the breach ult comes in, and they just kind of get destroyed there in the post plant, and Loud would end up winning the round. Okay, now moving on to global esports, and let's skew positive first again. And the first thing that I think was positive was, particularly on this Pearl map, they had quite a few instances of where their team play was, you know, pretty solid, I thought, right? We've just destroyed the turret there from our Fade to get our op set up here in A main, and you'll see we're about to get a really nice flash, actually, from Art, actually, from this KO, which completely blinds Texture. Really nice flash by Vitality, but Texture managed to get out, but Bazzy's there to support, again, straight away, right? And then you're going to see another example where we got players supporting each other as well here, right? As Bazzy's going to get flashed here by Molsey, but now we get swing from the other way, and we get those 2 kills, right? And now we've even got the op here back to come down towards main. So yeah, just like, you know, we're trading off each other, we're playing off each other, we're swinging for each other, we're helping each other. There was quite a lot of this in this Pearl map, particularly on this defensive side where, you know, GE, they get rewarded for it, and you see that they end up winning this round. In terms of the bad for GE, well, they lost a couple of the second rounds here. After winning Pistol, they lost a couple of these rounds, and it comes from things like this, where we're just getting a little, I don't even know, like, over-aggressive, right? We're only against Pistols in this round, and Sheriffs and whatnot. We send the dog out here, like, why are we swinging this, right? Like, we don't know. Okay, we see that one's out there, right? But, you know, Texture's just out here on his own. I mean, this could be 4 people, right? It really could. And so, yeah, just a weird decision. And they did some things like this where it's just like, wait, what are we doing? Right, what are we doing? And they end up losing this round as well. And this happened a couple times to them where it just felt a bit like, just chill, right? Like, you're okay. Like, just chill a bit sometimes, GE. And, well, they did bring it back on the next map. But yeah, just certain times I think they just needed to calm down a bit. RRQ are up next, and I know some of you probably think, oh, this is going to be difficult to find a good round from, but actually, this is a really nice round number 5. They're going to find the first kill here, just spamming through the smoke, right? And so we end up in a 5v4, but this is actually a really, really nice round, and you'll see what I mean here, right? So they're going to come back. There's still plenty of time on the clock, and as I said, there was some of these teams that I think, you know, kind of panicked in some of these situations where, you know, we're in a 5v4, but there's plenty of time left where it's like, oh, we got to kill, go see, right? But RRQ here, you see that they don't do that, right? They send in this neon wall as they're coming back towards A, and, you know, that creates a bit of pressure towards C. The neon actually then runs back. They start to come down A. They clear all of this out. They send a cage down there. They smoke off this so that Kiwi can't see them, and so now Kiwi thinks, oh, they're probably coming towards A, but then actually they come and do a B split instead, and you'll see that, I mean, here, you know, Foot are just kind of lost, right? They have no idea where they are. It's a really nice round. You know, they get a lot of control here. Yeah, okay, we get the res, we get the killjoy lockdown, but they're still going to manage to make it work because they have, you know, a lot of control, and they've worked the map very well, and, you know, they are going to make it work. And they did have a couple of rounds like this, right, where it looked pretty good. You see Flipshooter gets that kill just there, and we end up in a 5v4. The door opens, they get that kill as well, right? And you see the KOs just kind of taken off guard, perhaps because they don't realize just how much control RRQ had. They come and swing together. Really nice round. The bad from RRQ here, though, can just be said in one word: discipline at times, right? This is the pistol round from that same game. They end up in a 4v2 here, right? Things go pretty well. They get that kill just there. We get that trade just there. We're in a 4v2, right? Now, from this position, everything's going to be a 1v1. That's a 1v1. In a second, we're about to get another 1v1. Then we're going to get another 1v1, right? As now we're in a 2v2. Like, it just felt like everything was just this, right? Now, all of a sudden, we're from a 4v2 to a 1v2, and we end up in a 1v1 that they are going to lose. And there was just instances like this, and this was the very first round that they played. And this kind of followed them, I think, at times as well, where, you know, they were in some decent situations, you know, where they could have won it, should have won it, perhaps, but they just, you know, someone would go off on their own and die, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like a house of cards and it all comes tumbling down. Okay, next up, T1. And T1 here, this I think was a good round from them. Round number 4 on Pearl here against Fury. You see they got this little trap play set up. They see them, they flash. Okay, the stun comes out. They don't manage to quite get a kill off it, but, you know, it's fine. And as we run this round forward, Fury, you'll see, are going to eventually end up coming to B, but we're going to get a nice retake here from T1, and it looks like, you know, that's kind of the plan. We're, you know, we're pretty passive over here. We don't have a ton here to stop them from doing that, so we got our players towards A just here. You know, we're playing kind of heavy towards A. The Seekers come out. They come down. Astra realizes, okay, I'm not in a spot to kind of, you know, stop this in any meaningful way, so the Astra has to retreat. Okay, we have to play full retake, but we get a pretty nice retake, even though Munchkin does die here, and this was something that I think Munchkin maybe did a bit too often, where he just gets caught out. You see, initially he does the right thing, right, where he's not fighting on his own and he's kind of waiting for his team, and he realizes he can't hold it, but then he just tries to hold it. But we end up in a 4v4 here, but they managed to make this work pretty well. As you'll see, you know, we get the util in, we start to come in towards elbow, and we start just mopping up pretty much as we swing around this corner, get some trades. It's nice stuff, and we swing together here as well. You see Copy there waiting for Ban to get with him, swing together, good stuff in the 2v1, and they win the round. Bad for T1, I think, was mostly on some of their attack sides. I think they just seemed a bit hesitant. You're going to see it in this round here, right, where, okay, things start off, you know, perfectly fine. We come and take A main, right? We're in a perfectly fine spot. We're going to pop the Killjoy lockdown. We're going to get in onto the site, right? Nothing too bad so far, but you're going to see, we have a Killjoy lockdown. We get onto the site. They actually don't end up planting the spike here. It's just a very odd, bizarre round where, you know, Zeta comes all the way back here as the KO. So, you know, in they dash, and yeah, okay, they got the smokes in. They come and actually, you know, kind of clear this part out as well. You know, it's all fine, but like, where's the spike? Like, we just had a Killjoy lockdown. It just ended. Like, you know, Spike's still not going down. Spike's still not going down. Spike's still not going down. I'll tell you when they tap it, right? They actually get this kill here, Furia. Carpe just taps it now for the first time. How long has it been since that Killjoy lockdown went off, right? It's been forever. It's like they're just waiting for Furia to get into a good spot to retake on them, right? They get revealed by the Fade Haunt as well. So it's like, what are we waiting for, right? We're just waiting for Furia to come and basically take the site from us. We just let them get into a really good position and we can't plant the spike. And so, yeah, sometimes that was just, that was kind of an extreme example of it, but sometimes they were just a bit hesitant and a bit maybe on different pages as well. Okay, Talon. Let's start off with the good with Talon, and the thing that I like about Talon is they're crazy, and they don't care what you do. I mean, this round isn't even going to start great. I mean, they just brim ulted this, right? And that actually does separate Mako. The problem for Talon in this round is the word Mako in that sentence that I just said, because you would think this would be a pretty, a fairly favorable situation to maybe get at least a trade there, but it's Mako. So they end up in a 5v3, but you're going to see that they thrive in these situations. So that was coming off the back of just like a full sprint out this way into a brim ult there, right? Which is kind of crazy in and of itself. But you'll see what we're going to get from DRX's Talon are going to manage to win this round. And you would think, against a team as good as DRX, 5v3, like, you don't stand a chance, but they do stand a chance because Talon are equally crazy and willing to do just that. Sushi actually does get revealed. I mean, you just think there's just no way, right? He gets flashed, I mean, he's just getting destroyed by the DRX utility, but in the midst of all this chaos, this is where Talon thrive. Flash is going to come in main, and Sushi Boy's going to swing with it, and he's going to get 2 kills. So even though he's getting pelted with utility, and then we're getting trades as well from the rafters there as well, we end up in a 2v1. And this is just Talon all over, right? That just in that kind of chaotic moment where it seems like they should have no chance, they managed to make it work, and they would end up winning this round with Fox having 1 HP. I think my problem for Talon, though, is just some of their consistency, right? They can thrive in chaos at times, but at times they can also lose themselves as well, right? For instance, this. They're going to send out a Fade Prowler here. It's going to get shot, right? That's maybe a bit of a clue, right? That, oh, we got a Prowler here and it instantly gets shot just there. A little suspicious, but okay. But now let's take a look at what they do, right? Because they're going to flash around this corner. They flash around this corner. I think it maybe self-blinds them because you're going to see it's not a swing straight away. It's a swing like a good second after the flash comes out, right? It's really quite delayed. And actually, then they get a kill. And then the Fade Haunt comes out, right? So we actually get a Haunt coming in, like, way after as well. So it's kind of like we're all doing slightly different things, right? We send out Prowler. Okay, we suspect that someone might be there, so let's send some more util at it. We flash, but we don't swing with the flash. We kind of swing, a bit after the flash. And then we Haunt, but we're already dead before the Haunt even gets out there, right? So just a bit off on certain pages sometimes, and that, I think, did cost them, for instance, in this game on Ascent. Okay, moving on to Team Secret, and we're in a 5v4 here for Team Secret. They managed to get the first kill against Team Liquid, and I like that they're doing this, right? We're jiggle peeking, and pretty much everyone on their team is either, in a decent spot or they're jiggle peeking something, right? We're not giving them an easy fight, and then we get the util combos. We're playing together again here as well. Well, we got this phase C's ready, right? We're going to nade out, and even if Redguard gets this kill, right, he's getting traded from down here from the Fade, and there's no way these guys are coming in, right? So even if Redguard wins that fight, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Like, it's just good stuff, right? Our util has got rid of the rest of the team. This is a 1-for-1 at best for Team Liquid, and Jeremy actually manages to win that fight, so we end up in a 5v3, and again, we're sticking together, right? We're sticking together, we're playing together, we're fighting together, and again, we get the trades, we manage to get enough kills, we end up in a 3v1, and there isn't enough time here for safe, but even that, right? Like, okay, we're in a 3v1, let's come and play it safe, right? Like, there's no need to try and give him an easy kill here and let him, plant the spike or whatnot. Just come and play it super safe. 0% chance that he can win this round. And yeah, we're just playing it smart, playing it well, and eventually it has to be a save, and we win the round. My problem for Team Secret is that sometimes I feel like if the round doesn't quite go how they want or, expected it to, they can sometimes, I think, get a little flustered. This is an example of it here, right, where they're trying to plant on B and they can't quite, make it work. The nanoswarm is going off, so you can't quite plant. And so Jesse Vash, you see here, like, he's just going to run out on his own as a Sova. I don't know why. Like, it's not like, the rest of his team, there's time to wait here and kind of get the rest of the team. If you want to do this, you could go and do it as a team. But instead, it's just kind of done completely on your own. And there's just like a couple of examples of this where, like, if things don't quite go right, you see, like, it's just Soulcast gets a kill and it's like, Nats is expecting someone else to be there, but there isn't anyone else there, right? Because it's just kind of, we've just gone off on our own. And so sometimes I feel like they can just get, a little lost at times, maybe with stuff like that, where, if things aren't going great, maybe there's like little elements of, little panic in there, where we make some bad decisions. Okay, Paper Rex. The good of Paper Rex. Well, I mean, they did this wall. This was quite nice. That's a nice kill. Okay, that's about it. The bad from Paper Rex. Well, let's take a look at this 3v1, shall we? That's actually going to be a 4v1. How do you lose this? Well, we take a 1v1 fight. I mean, Zephyr almost whiffs this, but okay, gets the kill. Okay, still a 2v1. We even wall him off. Should be unlosable. This is an unlosable round, right? Spike goes down. Jing's going to go off to go and res. Zaken just has to not die. He dies. Now Jing in a tough spot. Zephyr gets an ace. Wins the round. And yeah. How do you lose a 4v1? Well, that's how, I guess. That's how you lose a 4v1. Okay, and finally, Zeta Division, and we're going to start with the bad of Zeta Division, because it'll lead into the good as well, but you'll see what I mean here, where sometimes they just gave away kills. Like, they just gave some kills for free. This is a perfect example of it, where 10, I'm just going to pause it now. Okay, I managed to pause it in the right spot. He's planting here. I mean, he can see them. I honestly, I don't get this at all, right? If you can see them, they can see you. And he just tries to plant the spike here. And I don't know if this, and I don't know whose fault this is, right? I don't know if he's expecting a smoke to be there, but there was just quite a few instances, and you'll even see another one in the good part as well, where they just gave away kills for free, and they end up losing this round against a save, but it never helps when you give them a free one. I mean, even this is messy. Right, this, I mean, oh my goodness gracious me, it was messy. He actually walked past someone here in heaven, right? They actually crossed paths there without even noticing. And this is just a kind of ends up being a bizarre round, but Leviathan end up winning it against Zeta, but it doesn't help when you just give away kills for free. But here's an example of a nice round from Zeta, okay? They've got the control down towards A main. They've got the two players coming there, and they're about to come in towards R as well. You see, we swing around that corner, we push Taco back. We're gonna actually manage to get the first kill here in just a second. We Astra ult in, and yeah, everything's looking pretty good. We're gonna updraft onto the top of this box. We get the nice shot here by Depp as well, right? Really good stuff, and we're in a 5v4. We're gonna get the spike down. You'll see what I mean though about them just basically giving away a kill. So 10 actually comes back to ult the killjoy look down, which is fine. Take a look at, I mean, where are you going? Where are you going, right? This is with an op, by the way. Deb's going in there with an op. I don't know where he's going, and this is what I mean. They sometimes just give away kills. They do end up winning this round. They play the time pretty nicely here, and they just kind of delay long enough to make it work. But yeah, you see what I mean, that sometimes they just gave away kills for free. And I don't really understand why all of the time. But yeah, they do manage to make this work in the end. Find enough of the kills. Okay, maybe Laz here is kind of, swinging whilst 10 is not swinging, but 10, eventually they play the time. They get the win. It's a nice round overall, even though, yeah, we were giving away some free ones. But now let's talk about where I'm going to put these teams. They are all at number 1 because they are all number 1 in my heart. But if we're being serious, where am I going to put them all? Well, coming in at 10th place, I am going to put Detonation Gaming. The reason I'm going to put them down there is because I just feel like with the current roster that they have, I am a bit worried that, they just don't quite have what they need to potentially, get it going, to be honest. And so they are going to be number 10. Coming in at number 9, maybe a bit of a surprise here, but I'm going to put T1 at number 9. I think that T1 maybe looked a little just disorganized, a little all over the place. I think they need to kind of, streamline it, work on it, and maybe I'm just not a believer. Someone has to be disappointed as a team, right? There's going to be some surprises. Not everyone's going to finish exactly how you think. So T1 I do have down there. Next, though, I have RRQ. They still, I think, will have some things to work on as well. But yeah, I'm going to put RRQ in at number 8. At number 7, and this is where I think it really kind of starts to get a bit tricky, but at number 7, I am going to put Global Esports. I'm sorry, India. The reason I'm going to put you 7, it's really not even to do with you. It's more just the fact of me being a bit of a romantic, because I'm going to put Zeta at 6. The reason I'm going to put Zeta at 6 is because 6 teams make the playoffs. And so there's just a blind faith in me. Maybe I'm just a crazy man. I just want Zeta to make it to Tokyo. And so if they don't finish in the top 6, they can't make it to Tokyo. And I want them to make it to Tokyo, so I'm putting them at 6th and hoping that they can make a magical run from 6th in the playoffs and make it there. Will that happen? Probably not. And so I'm sorry, Global Esports, that you got pushed out for that, because, you know, Global probably did look like the better team. Okay, moving into the top 5. And at number 5, I'm going to put Team Secret, a team that I think looked pretty solid, had some decent ideas. You know, but maybe still some things to work on as well. But, you know, 5th would be pretty decent. They'd make the playoffs. At number 4, I'm going to put Talon. Because, you know, I think this is a respectable place for Talon to finish. Again, you know, a fun team to watch. I hope they make the playoffs, because it will be fun if they do. In 3, I'm going to put Paper Rex. Maybe this is just hopium, copium, whatnot, but obviously we've seen that they have the talent, they have the players. It's just, can they actually do it? And so, because I think that they might start off a bit slow, I'm not going to put them in the top 2. I'm going to put them at number 3, and I am going to put Gen.G at number 2 and DRX 1. Probably not a ton of a surprise. Maybe it is a bit of a surprise to put Gen.G at 2. I think ranking 2 to about 7 in this list, honestly, you could put any of these teams anywhere, and I'm sure some of you guys will have a big disagreement on, you know, who should be, like, who is second in Pacific. I have no idea. DRX being number 1 is you know, kind of a no-brainer, but that second place honestly could go to anyone. I'm going to give it to Gen.G, even though they only played 1 game, even though they're kind of mixing up their roster a bit. I don't know. I guess I'm just a believer. I believe in King. He had a great tournament, and so, yeah, Gen.G, they're going to finish second. So let me know in the comments down below what you think, who you would have finishing second, and who you would have as your top 6 to make the playoffs in Pacific as well. We will be doing this for EMEA and Americas in the coming days as well.